Dave Chappelle rose to prominence as a stand-up comedian in the early 90s, getting roles in movies and becoming a well-known talent. It was just a matter of time until he got his own TV show.
Shotgun, little buddy!
Honey, I think he likes it.
No, I'm not talking about that one. Chappelle's debut show was a Disney-produced primetime sitcom named Buddies, which was a spin-off show of Home Improvement. And in today's video, you will learn about the show that Dave Chappelle doesn't want you to know about. Before we get started, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. As a growing star, ABC granted Dave Chappelle the opportunity to appear as a guest star on an episode of Home Improvement. On the 20th episode of the 4th season, Dave Chappelle and Jim Breuer appeared as guest stars. Dave and Jim appeared in a two-time crowd on this episode. Tim transformed this two-time episode into an episode of Dr. Phil, allowing the two buddies to roleplay as their nagging girlfriends.
Jim, you said you were going to be home last night, but I came by your house and you weren't there. Where were you?
Where was I?
As a result, Dave and Jim got into some problems with their significant others.
Oh, wait a minute. Our girlfriend saw the show yesterday. You gotta help us out.
We are in big trouble.
Tim elected to assist his new friends, which delighted the audience. ABC was so taken by Chappelle and Breuer that they immediately began working on a sitcom show for them, turning the 20th episode of the 4th season of Home Improvement into a retroactive backdoor pilot. If you're unfamiliar with a retroactive backdoor pilot, it's television technique for debuting a new show under the cover of an apparently normal episode of an existing show. For an example, how one episode of Girlfriends introduced us to the characters of the game.
Malik Wright, quarterback, Virginia Tech.
Jason Pitts, wide receiver.
Melanie, a medical degree from the University of San Diego is not as prestigious as Johns Hopkins. Come on.
So, it's still in the top 10. So go back and tell your mother to tell her brother to tell his wife that her daughter is staying in San Diego.
Okay, you lost me. Are we still cousins?
Oh, there he is.
Joe and Dave, wide receiver.
My baby's first professional game.
So, Chappelle got a spin-off show with just one episode appearance. Even if it was forced, the show, like many others in its early phases, went through a lot of revamping, which was terrible news for Breuer. ABC execs wanted to work with Dave Chappelle, but they was concerned that Breuer would distract from Chappelle's screen time. As a result, the network chose to replace Breuer with Chris Garten, and the character name was altered from Jim to John.
In the middle of the week that it's gonna air, my commercials are on. I walk through the mall. I'm getting notified. I won the lottery ticket.
Right.
Like 60. I think it was $70,000 a week. Wow. I'm gonna be making. And so, all of a sudden, I get they release us. Everyone go home. Big rewrites. I go to the hotel. I'm like, yeah, we're off today. And all of a sudden, the manager's like, hey man, come to my room for a second.
The pit in my stomach.
Yeah. So I'm like, can my friends come?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, leave your friends there. And I go downstairs. Now, they were having problems with Chappelle. There was something going on with Chappelle. They were talking about firing him and all this jazz. And I go down there, and he goes, yeah, you and the show are not going to go. And I went, the show's not going? He goes, no, the show's going to go. They're going to replace you.
Following these revisions, the show was greenlit, which was fantastic news.
The premiere of Buddies.
Meet Dave's dad.
I want the rent.
He sees the bottom line.
Can't you at least say hello first?
Hello, I want the rent.
And John's mother-in-law sees it all backwards.
If I wear it the other way around, the only skin I'm going to show is my back, and I want to show my front. That's where the eye candy is.
It's a comedy that's more than just black and white.
Know what I'm saying? I'm not playing.
It's buddies on a fresh new lineup when 2 new shows hit the spot. Tomorrow.
The bad news was that Chappelle and Garden lacked the chemistry that Chappelle and Brewer had. The show was about 2 best friends who operate a felon video production company. The duo balanced their hectic jobs with even crazier love lives. John is married, if you remember in the Home Improvement episode, which John proposes to his girlfriend. Meanwhile, Dave is in a complicated relationship. The show was filled with cast members such as Paula Cale as John's wife, Judith Ivory as John's mother, Tanya Wright as Dave's girlfriend, and Richard Roundtree as Dave's father. This show was a terrible match for Chappelle since it was a generic 90s sitcom show, and it didn't blend in with Chappelle's comic style. Because it was a primetime TV show with the lead characters being black and white, the network believed the show should address race, but not in the sense that we saw Chappelle do on the Chappelle Show.
I don't know why boys who have so much gold jewelry are so angry.
And although I didn't think it was possible, you actually look pale.
I didn't bring this fried chicken just because of you.
After just airing 5 episodes, ABC canceled the show. In total, the show had 13 episodes, which means 8 episodes never aired. Today, Chappelle disowns his first ever TV show, telling CBS News, quote, "It was a bad show. When we was doing it, I can tell this was not gonna work." With Brewer and Chappelle being close friends and wanted to work with each other, they end up getting their wish 2 years later after the show got canceled, where the duo teamed up for the stoner comedy movie Half-Baked. Buddies faded into mediocrity in television history, and nothing sums up the sitcom more than the DVD tagline, "The show Dave Chappelle doesn't want you to see." Now, before we head up out of here, I have a couple questions for you guys. Have you seen this show when it originally aired? And what is your favorite movie or stand-up from Dave Chappelle?
Why? Because fuck 'em, that's why.